There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it. There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it. There are leaves around. This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Olá amigos, meu nome é markdcarvalho e farei aqui um novo evento aqui no Genshin Impact. Tá tendo um novo evento aqui no Genshin Impact. As Aventuras Fantásticas de Thelxie. Aquele pinguim ali. Então faça aí, aqui já está no segundo dia do evento. Eu vou me teletransportar para ali. E peço aí que inscreva-se no meu canal, dê um like ou dislike, comente, compartilhe, ative o sino para receber notificações. Isso ajuda bastante. Então vamos começar aqui o evento aqui, ó. As Aventuras Fantásticas de Thelxie. Eu vou me teletransportar para lá, pro local aqui, ó. Vou falar com a menina aqui da pescaria, da Associação dos Pescadores. Essa menina que ela também está passando aqui, ela passa uma missão aqui. Toda vez que você vem aqui e fala com ela, ocorre um evento, né, e você ganha de 20 a 30 estrelinhas. E tem a missão que ela passa da Associação dos Pescadores. Aqui era para ter um evento aqui dela bem aqui, para mim recolher a isca dela. Não sei se eu já recolhi. É uma isca de atrair peixes, mas a isca está atraindo monstro. A pessoa vem aqui e mata um monstro aqui, está comendo a isca dela. Aí acontece várias coisas aqui com ela aqui, tem que fazer para ela.
But what if they're real after all? No, that can't be. But what if there's a chance?
Eu vou acelerar aqui o diálogo, porque os diálogos são bem longos aqui do Genshin. As historinhas que eles contam são bem interessantes. Aí quem quiser ler, parar para ler, eu tô sem tempo, tem que acelerar aqui o diálogo.
Someone has heard my prayers.
Paimon could tell you were really bothered by something. Don't worry, you've got 2 super experienced...
Oh, you are exactly the helpers I need. See, the
Mas
problem
as
is
historinhas
that the
desses
fish
eventos
around the
são bem
fishing spot at
interessantes, apesar
Arenius
dos
have
diálogos
just
ser bem
all up
longos,
and
mas são bem
vanished
interessantes, que
recently.
hoje as pessoas de hoje não
They
têm
disappeared
paciência
too
nem
quickly
tempo
for it to have been
para
the
ver
work
nada.
of human
É
anglers.
tudo acelerado.
Right, but unfortunately, as the representative of the Fishing Association, there are a few other errands that I absolutely have to run. So
you'd like us to investigate the spot for you?
exactly, you're right, Anamora. So I thought I could delegate this work to you. Are you two some kind of prophets, knowing?
Yeah, we're just really experienced in this kind of thing, that's all.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'll get a good night's sleep knowing the two of you are on the case.
But don't we just need to investigate the missing fish? It really doesn't sound too
No, you mustn't let your guard down. As the representative of the Fishing Association, I have good reason to believe that the fish have gone missing due to an encounter with the water. Yes, you're both Outlanders, right? Our local fairy tales often speak of a terrifying underwater creature called Thelxie. The story our parents would tell us was always the same. If we went to the water alone, then we'd be snatched away and eaten by a water imp called Thelxie.
A child eating water imp? Did they tell you what it looked like?
My father would always describe it as a beautiful, multicolored snake woman, while my mother said it had a handsome face. It's really strange, though, because you'd also hear other people describe it as just a chubby penguin with a deceptive appearance. Even though the tales vary regarding its appearance, everyone agrees that it's really dangerous. It lives in an underwater cave surrounded by pallid bones and uses its sensitive nose to track down lonely children who've lost their way. And once it finds a child, it uses its alluring singing voice to lure them into the water before swallowing them all. Pretty terrifying, isn't it?
Sounds kind of scary. But isn't that pretty normal for a fairy tale? After all, those kinds of stories are usually made up to help keep children away from danger.
But what if the fairy tale was inspired by a real-life tale? Just like how a water vein always has a source. Well, I wouldn't call it evidence per se, but I've heard some rumors lately. They say that someone recently saw a child walk into the water as if he was possessed by something. Doesn't that sound just like he was responding to the call of a water imp?
So you mean someone really got eaten by a water imp?
It's all hearsay, so it's hard to confirm. But still, they all say this happened on Irenaeus. That's no laughing matter if you ask me. Both the Opera House and the Fountain of Lucine were built there, and the sources of many water veins can be traced to the island as well. Combine that with the mysterious mist, the huge tree with expansive underground roots, and the rumor that the fish chefs on the island can understand human language. Is it really so shocking that an island so shrouded in mystery could harbor a terrifying water imp as well?
Why does Paimon feel like you're pulling our leg? You're just piling on the rumors now. Still, if someone's really been hurt, then we can't just ignore the situation, right, Traveler?
Oh, marvelous. Then I'll just mark the stretch of water on your map. Don't forget that no matter what, safety always comes first.
Então tá aqui a primeira história aqui desse evento. Então vamos para lá para a área nova. Deixa eu ver aqui. Aqui para a área nova aqui, ó. Não tenho nada aberto aqui ainda. O portal mais perto é esse daqui.
There are
Então vamos
leaves
lá,
around,
vamos correndo até lá.
and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
Deixa eu botar aqui a minha que ela é mais rápida que ela no movimento. Ficou preso. Depois eu venho investigar essas coisas aí. Tem um baú aberto ali. Tá bom, né?
Is this the stretch of water Delaroche was talking about? It looks... These look pretty fresh. Did the water imp get someone again? Let's look around and see if we can find anything else. Wait, did you hear something just now?
Paimon? Traveler?
Essa Paimon histérica.
I'm sorry. I forgot I was still wearing this. Paimon, are you okay?
Paimon nearly mistook you for a water imp. Thank goodness it was just you wearing your helmet.
Huh? A water imp? Thelxie, you say? How surprising.
Huh? You know that name too? Or do you know someone else who's trying to investigate the water imp?
No, I think our situations are probably unrelated. Sure, if that's in order. I know the name because of one of my employers. She noticed the clockwork penguins I brought to the workshop and contacted me through the shop's owner. She has commissioned me to make a special toy. Following her request, I've named the toy Thelxie.
Huh? But isn't it a little creepy to name a toy after a water imp? Wait, hold on! Fremina, you never take commissions from other people!
Yeah, but, she made a special request. It's alright, though. She'll be coming over to check on my progress shortly, and I'll just tell her that you're two of my trustworthy companions. Hearing that, she might be willing to share some information, and you'll be able to continue with your investigation.
Huh. Even though you seem a little cold and reserved sometimes, you're still really considerate. Our target isn't necessarily the water imp, though. We're primarily here to investigate the disappearance of the fish.
The fish? Ah, I think I may have connected the dots. These past few weeks, I've been taking Thelxie for underwater testing every day. The pressure testing makes a lot of noise. So, all that about the disappearing fish, well, it was probably because of me.
So that's how it was? That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I think that's quite likely as well.
Whew. So in the end, it was just Fremine. Paimon spent all this time imagining what a water imp from the fairy tales might look like, and it all turns out to be just a hoax.
I'm sorry. It sounds like I've created a lot of trouble for everyone else as well. I'll try to finish this. Thank you.
Actually, how much work do you still have left, Fremine? Maybe we could lend you a hand.
Thanks for offering, but I can't trouble you any more than I already have.
Hey, it's no trouble at all. Didn't you just call us your trustworthy companions? Companions are all about helping each other, you know?
But don't you need to report back to...
Nope, that's not how it works. See, Paimon's got these commissioner types all figured out, even though we were just tasked with finding out why the fish had gone missing. If we tell them now that it was all just a misunderstanding, you can bet they just immediately hand us another commission to help them get the fish back. Exactly! So if we
Impressão
can help
minha,
you finish
a
up your work and
dubladora
get the
da
fish
Paimon
back, that
mudou
would
de
save
novo.
us an extra trip.
Is that what you'd like to do as well?
Droga.
Huh. All right, I'll trust your judgment. Please follow me. I've made a makeshift camp over there.
Então vamos.
I've stored Thelxie in the tent. He can
Investigar
respond to some
aqui.
simple verbal commands. You can try calling his name and...
Whoa, sounds pretty advanced. Let Paimon give it a try. Hey, Thelxie! Are you there?
Parece que só tem isso aqui, né, pra ler. Então vamos falar aqui com o pinguim.
So that's Fermine's version of Thelxie. It's also penguin-shaped, just like Pear.
Yep. Had Thelxie lived in Penguin Town, he'd probably have become great friends with Pear. It's not really anywhere famous or important. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Thelxie. Nice to meet you. Do you know how to say hello?
I wanted to install a language output module, but due to time constraints, I had to give up on the idea. As it stands, Thelxie can only output messages that were pre-written into its motherboard. I haven't given him the ability to convert those messages into discernible words, so he can't really talk to us just yet.
No need to get so technical. So basically, you want us to help you complete and install this language module, right?
No, there's no need. That wasn't one of my employer's requests. It was just something I wanted to try. I have two other things I'd like your help with. The first is to do some integration testing on Thelxie's motherboard, to make sure he will be able to function properly in most situations.
That doesn't sound too hard. And what's the other thing?
The other shouldn't take too long either. You'll need to find Thelxie some colorful shells and coral, so I can craft a weapon for him.
A weapon? Will Thelxie have to fight?
Mm-hmm. Thelxie will need to be able to charge forward with a weapon in hand, like that brave prince of legend. It's a part of my employer's request.
What an imaginative employer! Naming Thelxie after a water imp, but wanting him to look like a prince?
Well, regardless of his role or species, Thelxie's purpose is the same. Just like Pear, he has come to this world to serve as somebody's companion.
Whoa! Thelxie just said something again! Could he understand what we were just talking about?
He can react to certain key words.
That's a pity. But anyway, the most important thing right now is for us to get to work. Maybe let's start by doing some testing on the
Sounds good. The motherboard is on my workbench, so please follow me. Ah, here we go. I have this testing manual, so feel free to reference it if you get stuck. Want to give it a try? It's okay if you don't succeed immediately. I've got a lot of backup boards just in case. Okay, knowing you, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. Please give the testing a try. The motherboard's on the table there.
Ah, é pra fazer ele... Interessante.
You're doing well. Just as I expected.
We've taken on a lot of similar tasks before, you know.
Then let's move on to the underwater part. It's just as I mentioned earlier. We're after colorful shells and coral. Oh, speaking of which, you're both already pretty used to Fontaine's underwater environment, right? Okay, that's good. Just let me know if you ever feel uncomfortable. I'll make sure to stay right by your side.
Olá, amigo, seja bem-vindo aí. Cadê aqueles peixes que dá habilidade especial? Tem nenhum
It
aqui
should
por
be
perto.
right over there. We'll be able to find something that'll help us with our search.
Vou desviar bem aqui um pouco aqui do evento para me pegar essas pedras bem aqui. Porque eu tô juntando elas aqui para me fazer uma arma. E cada atualização da arma é 50 pedras.
This is it. We call this thing an echoing conch. It can detect special reflection waves in the water. Did you notice any interesting places? The echoing conch should have detected some just now. Let's go check them out.
Achei aqui uma concha. Tem uma inscrição? Tem uma inscrição aqui, ó. Tinha uma inscrição aqui. Preste atenção. Mais alguma coisa aqui? Tem mais umas pedras ali. Tem um robô bem aqui do lado.
Alright, these should be enough. Let's head back to camp. Thank you for staying out
Antes
here
de
with me all
voltar,
this
deixa eu
time.
pegar essas pedras bem aqui. Então vamos voltar. Como eu não tenho nenhum portal lá perto, tem que voltar a pé mesmo. Já tem uma pessoa aqui.
Ah, Fremine, you're back. I thought you might have been out diving.
I'm sorry, Madame d'Estray. I must have kept you waiting. I can report, though, that the construction of Thelxie is going quite smoothly.
There's no rush. I'm your employer, not your supervisor. And these two are...
Oh, they're two of my trustworthy companions. They're here to help me work on Thelxie.
Yes, I see. I suppose it's only natural for someone responsible like you to have some reliable friends.
It's really nice to meet you, Madame d'Estray. Are you Fremine's employer? Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler.
Greetings, my new friends. Just call me Zuria. You are both so adorable. The sight of you reminds me of little fairies under a cottage roof.
Oh, do you really think so?
Of course. If my child had friends like you, then perhaps he wouldn't have become so obsessed with the tales of water imps. And I wouldn't have had to trouble Fremine here with this commission.
Obsessed with the tales of water imps?
Ah, so you don't know anything about my request yet? I would have thought Fremine had explained it to you already.
Well, Fremine told us that it was a private matter, so he didn't want to just share it willy-nilly.
I see. So Monsieur Fremine is even more discreet than I had thought. As you are assisting him with the project, I believe it'll be beneficial for you to learn more about its vision and history. But it would be quite impolite of me to simply pile all of my troubles on you without your permission. So, would you like to listen to my story?
Sure, you can tell us anything. You've already said nice things about us, so we'll try our best to help you get through your troubles.
Ah, what a lovely little fairy. Then let me think of a way to put my situation into words. I'm sure you're already familiar with the tale of the water imps, right? Simply put, parents came up with a story, painting water imps as scary abductors in an effort to convince their children to stay away from the water. My child is rather special, however. While most other children are terrified of Thelxie, he's infatuated with him.
Infatuated? With a water imp? What a brave soul.
Yes, he told me that he thought the water imp might have just been misunderstood. In his mind, instead of singing to abduct children, the water imp actually sang out of a longing for companionship. As a result, he often goes near the water in secret.
Huh. So he wanted to become friends with the water imp so it wouldn't be lonely any longer? What a unique way of thinking.
Thank you, little Paimon. He indeed has always stood out from the crowd. He was actually diagnosed with loneliness syndrome when he was only 8 years old. It's a type of mental disorder. Those affected by it often feel extremely lonely,
and lose interest in many mundane activities. The syndrome is probably what made him so determined to become friends with the water imp.
Oh no. Is it a very serious disorder?
If you were to become afflicted with the disorder, Paimon, you would only be able to say less than a fraction of the words you're saying to the traveler now.
No! Paimon won't accept that! We would have to find a doctor to help cure Paimon. Paimon has a 2,000-word quota for daily conversations with the traveler, and she won't settle for a single word less!
The family doctor has already begun to treat my son, but since the disorder is rare, there aren't many good regimens for treatment. He's also developed some new symptoms lately, such as uncontrollable delusions.
Huh? Uncontrollable what now?
Uncontrollable delusions. To put it simply, he can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality, and spends all his time in his fantasy world.
Then what is he seeing in his fantasy world?
It's a dream that he often mentioned to me when he was younger. I've compiled what I could understand of his recent rambling. It goes a bit like this.
A 500 pés debaixo d'água.
Amazing! Your son came up with all of this? He really crafted a lovely fairy tale world for Thelxie. It's like a beautiful dream.
But perhaps no beautiful dream can ever last long. You see, the story ended with a twist.
How could the story end like this? Is that kind of fantasizing what caused your son to develop his loneliness syndrome?
Well, it'd be more accurate to say that it was the syndrome that caused such terrible delusions to manifest. But in any case, the biggest problem is the patient eventually loses themselves to the fantasy world of their own creation.
My poor child can no longer differentiate between imagination and reality. He's begun to see himself as Thelxie.
Perhaps in his mind, the loneliness he felt became the same as that of a prince who lost everything he ever loved or stood for.
What? So that's what you meant by uncontrollable delusions. Then we have to help him snap out of it.
Alas, most of the time he acts as if he can no longer sense or interact with the real world at all. I've had several discussions with the doctor, and we think it is best to try to guide his fantasy. He once wanted to make a picture book of his imaginary world, but since the disorder progressed too quickly, he never quite got past the first page of the book. If we could use this book as a breakthrough for his condition. Here, you can take a look.
Ah, so Zuria's son also saw Thelxie as a penguin. Oh, he looks so sad.
What we should do now is help him complete this picture book. However, we'll lead the story to a different ending. One where the Water Imp Prince is eventually able to restore his kingdom with the help of his friends. We'll need to chase away his loneliness and sorrow, and let him perceive a world full of hope again. That's what I mean by guiding his fantasy.
But if we just need to finish finish the picture book, why does Femine need to make a Thelxie as well?
Because we need to treat the book's story seriously, as if it's a history of things that have really happened. We'll need to go on a journey like Thelxie and help him regain his crown and country. But my child can no longer go on a journey of his own. This is why I commissioned Femine here to craft a Thelxie, and then I'll paint the journey with this Thelxie into the picture book.
Ah, like a stand-in for your son! I'm starting to get it now. Oh, you really put a lot of thought into this, Zuria. Paimon still has one question, though. Where will we be able to find a Water Imp Kingdom?
There are some ruins on the seabed of the Salacia Plains. I've already asked Femine to research them for me. We'll be able to use one of the ruins as the kingdom.
Oh, so we'll just need to act out a performance of, a brave journey through the Kingdom of Water Imps. As long as we chase away the monsters in the ruins, it'll count as chasing away the monsters in the Water Imp Kingdom, right?
Sadly, no. We won't just be putting on a performance. It's just as Zuria said. We need to take this seriously, and the only way we can take this seriously is if we choose to believe everything that's happening is real.
So we'll be playing it straight? Or, making it a fully immersive experience? Oh, neither of those really sound right. Well, either way, we'll still be able to help, right?
It's all right. There's no need to get that serious. It's not a big deal. I believe in my son. We can just see this as him wanting to stay asleep for a bit longer, because he's so enamored with his dream.
Zuria.
Keep your spirits up, everyone. If we were to look troubled, my son is sure to become anxious as well. I should be heading back right about now to check on my son. We temporarily moved to a place on the hill over there, so my son will have a better spot to convalesce. It's not far from the water, and there's also a great view. Feel free to come find me if anything urgent comes up.
Understood. There's also one last thing. Since these two friends were able to help me out, I've made some more progress on Thelxie. I estimate that he should be ready sometime tomorrow.
That's great news. I must thank you all. With that in mind, how about we meet here in 2 days' time to head to the Kingdom of Water Imps? All right, everyone. Let's meet again in another 2 days.
Zuria sure is a brave and optimistic lady. Femine, do you think her plan will work out?
Let's discuss that over by the tent. There were a few things that I didn't bring up because the Madame was here.
Fale com Flaminete. Vamos falar com Flaminete aqui de novo.
What is it, Femine? What did you want to say?
If you don't mind me asking, I would like the two of you to mentally prepare yourselves. This is the first time that you've met anyone with the syndrome, right? I know you two are both really strong and will do everything you can to help the child. But with the syndrome being the way it is, if things don't quite turn out as we wish, I hope you'll be able to accept the outcome and not put too much blame on yourselves.
Femine, why do you bring this up all of a sudden? Didn't we just promise Zuria that we'll be optimistic about everything working out?
It's not that I'm not optimistic. It's just...
So that's why you looked like you knew exactly what she was talking about. Wait, Femine, don't tell Paimon that you also...
No. Please don't misunderstand. I've never had it. I've just... I've just seen many cases of it at the House of the Hearth, back when we lived under the previous director. They say there are many factors surrounding the development of this illness. I've heard everything from hereditary factors and one's state of mind, to environmental factors, and even ley line disorder effects. Some even say it could be caused by contamination from god remains. And from the cases I've seen, there weren't many positive outcomes. In the worst cases, the patient could even pass away.
What? It could get that serious? And here Paimon thought they'd just stop talking as much.
Yeah, that's just the nature of it. So if you'll find it difficult to cope with the worst case scenario, I would prefer that you back out right now. I don't want you to help.
Yeah, that's right. Paimon's seen all of those things too. No matter how hard it might get, we won't be scared.
Really? Then in that case, let's see this real-life fantasy adventure together to the end.
Yeah! But Paimon has a question. If this illness can really be as bad as you've described, then do you really think Zuria's method will be able to help? After all, we'll just be using a toy as Thelxie and some ruins as the Kingdom of Water Imps. The whole adventure will only be turned into a picture book for her son to read.
Well, I think it should be able to do something. To harbor a fantasy means that the child wants to save himself somehow. The only reason he's allowed his dream kingdom to fall is because he's lost control of his heart. But if we can help him regain control and escape from the darkness, we'll be able to change his world. Like helping someone who's lost their voice be able to speak again.
Oh, Paimon sees what you're saying now. Huh. How do you understand all of this so well, Fremine?
Well, maybe because I've also had many of my own dreams in the past. I even had my own fairy tale world, much like that boy's. I was able to draw a lot of support from it, so I believe in the power of fantasy worlds. So you remembered.
What Penguin Town? Why doesn't Paimon remember? Is that also a fairy tale world? Don't leave Paimon in the dark! Hey, why did you put that on?
It's just one of my personal quirks. Please pay it no mind. Anyway, Penguin Town is a peaceful place with lots of penguin residents. They're all really good at making clockwork toys. And Pear is the town's triumphant hero, as well as the one who quietly protects the whole place.
Pear? But didn't you make Pear yourself?
Well, I often think that Pear only came to me because he realized how much I needed him. So it's not so much that I made Pear, as Pear chose me as his friend.
Fremine, are you sure you're not losing control of your fantasies as well?
No, I don't think so. I can still differentiate between fantasy and reality. I just believe that the fairy tale world of my dreams might just be hidden, which is why it's difficult to
Então
see.
você tinha que falar mais
Or
preguiçoso
it
pra
will
esse
only
menino aí,
reveal
a
itself at
Laila.
very specific
A
times.
Leila.
Specific times? Like when you put on your diving helmet?
Yeah, that's the general idea of it.
Really? Paimon just said that because you put on your helmet.
Have you ever observed the surface world from underwater? It's as if you're viewing a whole different world from the outside. It's a very surreal feeling. Both alienating, but also as if you're being protected by something. I have a similar feeling when I put on my diving helmet. In those moments, it's possible to see some truly wondrous things, as if a fairy tale has become reality. It's almost like a sort of miracle.
Really? Like a miracle?
Well, if that's in order.
Hey, don't you still need time to work on Thelxie's weapon? We don't want to keep you from finishing your commission.
Right. I still have to collect some tools I'll need to craft the weapon. I've got to finish everything before tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me, Paimon. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities for you to try my helmet. Thanks for all of your help. I'll be off for now. Let's meet up here again in 2 days.
E aqui concluímos aqui a primeira história aqui do evento. E concluímos a primeira história do evento. Aqui tem as missões aqui do evento. Já está liberado aqui a 1 e a 2. Aqui vai desbloquear amanhã. E aqui vai desbloquear daqui a 20 horas, amanhã praticamente. E aqui está liberado aqui a parte 1 e a parte 2 aqui. Aí essas são as missões do evento. Eu ganhei 30 estrelinhas. A segunda história aqui do evento vai estar liberada amanhã também, a segunda história. E a terceira vai daqui a 2 dias. Daqui a 2 dias vai estar liberada. Então essa daqui aí ganha o Flamenete aqui, ó, pra quem não tem ele é um bom personagem. Ele é um bom personagem de ataque elemental de gelo. Ele dá ataques consecutivos. Eu não sei porque eles botaram ele ali com aquela espada ali do relógio ali. Ele não tem nenhuma habilidade com... Que eu me lembro que eu acho que ele não tem nenhuma habilidade com vida, não. Aquela espada é um espadão de vida. Ele não tem nenhum atributo aqui baseado em vida, não. Que eu me lembro aqui. Deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui. O atributo dele é todo baseado em vida, em gelo, basicamente ataque de gelo só. E dano elemental. Pode causar dano físico. Aí não tem nada de vida não, porque ela é uma espada de vida, um espadão de vida. Deixa eu ver aqui. Redução, recarga, 70%. Nada de coisa não. Aqui a constelação dele também. Parece que não tem nada não. Eles deviam ter botado outra espada ali. Acho que é porque combina com ele. Com o estilo dele da roupa, não é? Essa espadona aí do relógio. Mas só que ela tem um atributo vida ali, que aumenta a vida do personagem. Aí também depende dos artefatos, né? Ela também tem aquela habilidade ali de criar um escudo. Talvez seja por isso. E quando o personagem estiver com o escudo da espada, né, ela aumenta o dano 20%. Também talvez seja isso, talvez. Bom, essa daí foi a primeira parte da história. A outra parte vai estar liberada só amanhã. E mais uma vez aí, peço aí que inscreva-se no meu canal, dê um like ou dislike, comente, compartilhe e ative o sino para receber notificações. Isso ajuda bastante. Um momento aqui, eu volto já já, peraí.
wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me.
Bom, voltei aqui, agora eu vou fazer aqui as missões aqui do evento. Aqui as missões aqui do evento. Bom, amigos, continuando aqui o evento, farei agora aqui as missões, agora, depois de passar pela primeira parte da história. Aí temos aqui as missões, você faz as missões para ganhar aqui os pontos aqui para trocar aqui. Aí com 80 insígnias você ganha um Freminet. Então vamos ver aqui as missões. Aqui está a primeira missão aqui. Eu já estou aqui no local. É esse daqui que é para fazer. Círculos quebrados. Placa mãe vão se conectar. É aquela mesma coisa durante a história para conectar o pinguim. Para conectar o pinguim aqui, ó. Aí pronto. Aí liga ele. Foi um sucesso. Agora vamos para o próximo. Agora pode haver 2 circuitos diferentes. Então vamos ver aqui 2 circuitos diferentes. Opa, passou demais aqui. Aí esse daqui vai por aqui. Então vamos ligar agora. O primeiro ali tem que passar por aquele dali para ele apertar o botãozinho. Agora vamos para o terceiro, né? Aqui também do mesmo jeito, aqui tem que, o pinguim aqui tem que apertar ali o botão para o 2 ali passar. Opa. Aqui, ó. Aí já dá para ligar agora. Vamos testar aqui. E tá aí, bem simples. Aí tem mais um. Depois do processo de bug funcionar um tempo, você poderá usar o manual para ter piso sobre como configurar o circuito. É para trocar o piso? É isso? Não entendi nada aqui. Ai, aqui tá complicado esse daqui, não tá? Opa, apertei o botão errado. Como é que ele vai apertar esse botão aqui? Assim. Será que eu tenho que passar o 2 aqui pelo azul, é isso? Daqui tá bugando minha cabeça mesmo, é um verdadeiro bug esse daqui. Assim. Ah, eu já entendi. Ele pode passar, e depois que ele passar aqui, eu posso vir aqui trocar e ativar aqui, é isso? Ah, é isso. Ele vai parar bem aqui. Aí eu troco. Deixa eu testar aqui, bora ver. Aí ele parou. Não? Ah, é assim. Que vacilo meu, ó. Que vacilo meu esse, viu? Ah, é pra botar assim. Que coisa óbvia. Foi bem óbvio isso daqui. Ah, bugou minha cabeça esse negócio. Ah, apertei o botão aqui pra fazer de novo sem querer. Então bora fazer, já apertei. Apertei sem querer. Então vamos pegar aqui a recompensa aqui desse desafio aqui. É muita estrelinha, viu? Oportunidade perfeita aí pra ganhar a menina lá, como é mesmo o nome dela, a Furinha. E aqui temos aqui o outro. Vamos avançar pra lá. É pra vir pra cá, pra esse lugar aqui. Eu não tenho esse portal aqui ainda. Então deixa eu ver o local mais perto, é aqui. Então vamos pra lá. Eu pensei que eu tinha ativado aquele portal ali. Já que eu tô aqui, deixa eu ir lá ativar também. Ali tem uma missão bem ali do gato ali. Da meninazinha com o gato. O gato e o cachorro lá estão fantasiados. Eita, mas aqui tem borboleta, ó. Vou ativar logo aqui, aproveitar. Não ia ativar agora essas coisas aqui, só quando eu viesse pra cá com a missão principal. Mas eu vou ativar logo aqui. Aqui tem a concha aqui, ó, pra... Aqui é uns balão, orbe de energia potencial. Tem essa coisa aqui. Aqui é para ativar essa concha. Minimapa. Aí é pra destruir aqueles peixes. Então vamos ver aqui. Pegar aqui esse poder aqui, é um poder novo. Aqui é um poder novo. Um poder de eletricidade. Para pegar essas conchas. Pelo menos esse negócio não é no tempo, né? Pérolas. Ainda tem mais ainda. Tapete bacteriano contaminado. Ainda tem esse ainda. O povo inventa cada coisa. E tá aqui, concluiu aqui o desafio. Bora pegar aqui o prêmio. Tá aqui mais 80 estrelinhas e o save signos. Então vamos aqui para o 2 agora aqui. Onde é que vai ser o 2? É aqui, desse lado aqui. Então vamos para lá. Aquele pássaro azul ali, será que eu já capturei ele? Vou capturar. Qualquer coisa eu liberto o bichinho. Não sei se eu peguei o vermelho também. Eu tenho que pegar aquele poder ali, daquele peixe ali. Esse peixe aqui. Eles estão fugindo, eles. Fugindo, os pilantrinhos. Aqui eu já peguei mais um. Agora para destruir essas rochas. Tem um caranguejo aqui. Essa bolha aqui é muito forte, viu? É bom que a pessoa pegue essas pérolas. E tá aí. Daqui a última missão do evento. A terceira parte vai estar liberada só amanhã, daqui a 20 horas, amanhã praticamente. E que dá para fazer umas trocas aqui, ó, pegar mais 50 estrelinhas. Então vamos teletransportar aqui. Vou apertei o botão errado aqui. Não dá pra voltar lá pra onde... Aqui não, tá muito longe, né? Eu ia voltar pra lá, mas não vou voltar não. Vou voltar pra cá. Vou ficar aqui perto da estátua. Assim também tem os pontos do PB do evento aqui, ó. Opa, aqui não. Aqui os pontos do PB. Agora pronto. Esse controle não ajuda, viu? Aí tá aqui, ó. Vai ganhar os pontos aqui dos PB. É isso, meus amigos, esse foi o evento aí. Passa para você ganhar as estrelinhas. Tentar ganhar aqui a Furina, é uma boa oportunidade aqui, ó. Eu não vou jogar agora, eu vou jogar só quando eu estiver lá pra perto do final. Tiver mais ali, der pra dar umas 10 jogadas, eu vou jogar nela. Ali ainda tem 4 dias e 10 horas, vou juntar mais estrelinha, eu vou jogar. E é isso, meus amigos, esse daqui é o evento novo evento, aproveite, ganhe essas estrelinhas. E peço aí mais uma vez aí que inscreva-se no meu canal, dê um like ou dislike, comente, compartilhe e ative o sino para receber notificações, isso ajuda bastante.
I wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me. A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
E é isso, meus amigos. Mais uma vez, obrigado a todos e até a próxima. Talvez eu faça outra live aí de outro jogo mais tarde. Ou continuo fazendo a live aqui do Genshin, a história principal. Ou outra missão aí do jogo aí. Então até. Mais uma vez aí, obrigado de novo.